So if you could please take a seat, it'd be much appreciated. How many people went to the party last night? And you're here at 9 a.m. That is impressive. You can always sleep when you go back home. Well, it's great to see you this morning. This is our first full day. Well, yesterday was a full day too, but it's our first full day in this setup. Emily will come on in a few minutes to go over the kind of programming and the schedule and stuff for today. I'm here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Soren, and this is the 7th year we've done Wisdom 2.0. I'm often introduced as the founder of Wisdom 2.0, but I like to say it founded me. I was living in a little town in New Mexico called Dixon of about 800 people, and I was in a transition in my life where I was going through a divorce. I had lost a job that I had, and it was like life had just kind of cleared away all the things I normally thought of myself as. And I spent about a good amount of time, it's about a year, just kind of asking what's next. And I really like this line from Eckhart Tolle who says, don't ask what you want to do, ask what the world wants to do through you. And so I remember just sitting with that along for quite a while. And as best my memory goes, I was just walking one day, and you know, it's like a breeze, when a breeze just hits you, this idea of these two interests of mine, wisdom and technology, just kind of hit me like a breeze. As if, so it's not my idea by any means, it's just life was wanting something to happen and feels like there's a conversation that's needed. And so it looks for people to help move that forward, and we're all a part of that. So I'm really happy to be with you in that creation. And that's really what I see it is. I see it's a creation. I see many of us look at the world today and we see this amazing technological advances. You know, we'll have robots soon and self-driving cars and all kinds of cooler, niftier, faster gadgets. And yet, deep in our hearts, we know that that alone is not going to create the world that we want to create for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren, and that without certain inner qualities like mindfulness, like wisdom, like compassion, all these technological innovations do very little, really, to satisfy the human heart. So how do we cultivate and develop these inner qualities in a technology-rich age? And that's really the inquiry that we're here to do. And in doing that, we don't really propose any particular form. So it's not like we're trying to get you guys to all meditate more. All would be great if you do. We're not trying to get you all to be more socially active, although it'd be great if you do. We're not trying to get you to take on a certain yoga practice, although it'd be great if you do. We're not really particularly interested in any particular form that we think is the answer to the situation. What we're really much more wanting to explore is that formless dimension, which was always here, long before the Buddha, long before Christ, long before Lao Tzu. It's just that essential awareness that you cannot put a name to. Even calling it anything doesn't quite do it. But there is this essence. And so for me, the path that we're on in terms of this conference is exploring how do we tap into that, whatever that is, and begin to live it and begin to feel it and begin to embody it and let that guide our society. And so I feel like we're in the part of a new chapter in our culture. So we had the information age, which we're all a part of, and we're realizing the limits of the information age. So just having access to everything possible on the internet is kind of crazy. I mean, it's great, and it's just kind of crazy and overwhelming. And we can easily become more and more consumed and live our life with one email addiction after another and just constant consuming of information, never really knowing who we really are. And so I feel like what we're trying to birth, and we're birthing it together, no one of us can do this birthing. What we're trying to do together as a society is we're trying to rebirth a next chapter that's beyond the information age. The information age still exists within that chapter, but there's a consciousness that also exists within that chapter. Now, what that looks like, we have to create that together. And one thing I know is it needs the brilliance and the wisdom from every source. So we need the technology leaders, we need the wisdom teachers, we need the scientists, we need the designers, we need the young people, we need the old people. Like, we all have to come together so that something can be birthed. Eckhart Tolle calls it a new earth. Call it whatever you want to call it, but there's this sense that whatever we have is just not sustainable, and that just a technological fix is not going to work. So there's a consciousness play that we need to embody and bring forth. And I feel like that's why I'm here. And that's what I hope this conference and the different events that we do help to foster that rebirthing and that turning of that page into a new chapter. And that chapter will be one that's much more sustainable. And that chapter will be one where we'll know all the latest cool technologies, but we'll also be able to sit across the table from somebody and look them in the eye and have an honest conversation. And you'll go into a cafe and not everybody will be on their devices, completely disconnected from the other person next to them. There's a world of connection that we can so easily lose. And I feel really honored to be with you in this exploration of what it means to foster human connection in a digital age. So that said, while you're at this conference, I totally want you to connect with others as you see fit. So if you see somebody and they look kind of curious and look kind of interesting, feel free to go over and introduce yourself. I'd also love to encourage that I know some people came with business cards, and people ask me, how do you network? How do you know all these people? And I'm like, I don't have a business card. I've never had a business card. The more that we can just practice being present with other people in the hallway and less about whatever agenda we think we have and less whatever identity we think we want to introduce ourselves as, and the more we can just be open and vulnerable and present, we're going to create a different kind of atmosphere. And so that's in my invitation. We're not going to have police going around taking you down if you bring out your business card. But there's an opportunity here, and the connections that we make of deep friendship in some ways are so much more powerful than the business connections. And the connections that I've made just from human-to-human contact, like years later, there'll be business connections that come from that, but they come from that because we've connected at a heart basis. And so I really want to encourage you when you are with somebody in the hall and you're like wanting to go through your rap. We all have a rap. I have a rap. That we can just take a breath, and just witness that other person and receive that other person and let them receive us. It's just a human being. We are 3,000 of us here. We started out, 7 years ago with 300, and now we're 3,000. And we started out with one country. I think the first conference, it was just the United States. And now we have tons of people from all different kinds of countries. So to get a sense of just who's in the room, we'd love for you to stand up if you're from North America. Wow, okay, a few North Americans. Please sit down. Please stand up if you're from South America. South America? Excellent, welcome. Europe, our Europe friends. Oh, and we have a map. Is the map hearing? Yes, you can see a moving map. Our friend Susan did. Australia. Cool. Africa. I know we have at least one from Africa. Peter from Africa? Where's our Africa? Probably not Antarctica, but I thought I would just say it for what the hell. Antarctica? No, Antarctica. Dang. 1 year, we're going to get Antarctica in here. Asia. Oh, shoot. Did I forget? Asia. Wow. Welcome. Israel, Middle East. Great, wow, welcome. That's a long way to travel. It's always amazes me that somebody would travel this far to come to this. So everybody's welcome, but particularly those from far off places, you're especially welcome. Because I know it's not easy to get here, and I just really appreciate you making the time and making it all happen. I'm sorry? Did I forget New Zealand? Wonderful. So welcome. I'm going to pass it on now to Emily, who is going to go through some logistics with you. Emily Lane is, Emily hosted or emceed our Europe conference that we did a few years ago. She's founder of the Corporate Wellbeing Institute, and she comes from Dublin, Ireland. So her accent is actually real. We didn't like, she's not pretending. She has a real beautiful Irish accent. And she's going to go through some logistics with you, and then our good friend John Cabot-Zan is going to do an exercise helping you drop in on why you're really here. So thank you and welcome.